लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। कल के लेक्चर के बारे में किसी को कोई क्वेश्चन, एनीथिंग? तो कल हमने बेसिकली हमने पढ़ा था वी आर गोइंग इनटू नेटवर्किंग, और हमने नेटवर्किंग के अंदर हमने वर्चुअल नेटवर्क्स पढ़े थे, और वर्चुअल नेटवर्क्स के अंदर हमने टू एक्सटेंड द वर्चुअल नेटवर्क हमने फिर ब्रीफली वर्चुअल प्राइवेट नेटवर्क्स पढ़े थे। एंड टू एस्टैब्लिश वर्चुअल प्राइवेट नेटवर्क्स, उसके लिए हमने वर्चुअल प्राइवेट नेटवर्क गेटवे पढ़ा था, वीपीएन गेटवे बेसिकली। सही है। और हमने उसके अंदर बताया था कि कपल ऑफ थिंग्स टू मेक श्योर कि हमारा जो ऑन प्रेमिसेस नेटवर्क है उसकी एड्रेस स्पेस शुड नॉट बी कन्फ्लिक्टिंग विद एड्रेस स्पेस दैट इज ऑन Azure। ठीक है। So you can create, lot of time we create with customers as well, with third party organizations as well. तो उसके अंदर we have to make sure कि हमारी जो connectivity है that is over the address space is not conflicting. That is an important part. Anyway, now the next part is हमने जब ये पढ़ लिया, what is the next thing in networking? उसके बाद है something called express route. So yeah, it is part of the Azure networking services. And what do we need? Why do we need express route? क्या problem domain है इसका? सही है। हमने कई चीजें पढ़ी हैं अभी तक। Azure का हमने virtual network पढ़ा है, उसके बाद ये पढ़ा है इसका क्या कहते हैं VPN. And now we are coming towards express route. Why do we need express route? सही है। जो VPN था, it was extending our on-premises network into Azure over internet connection. हमने कहा था इसका भी public IP है, इसका भी public IP है, both gateways का। सही है। And they talk to each other over internet, over the public internet, right? Please be very careful on this one. Problem domain, this is creating the network over public network. The tunnel is going over public network. Express route is over a private connection. अब आप private connection किस तरह बनाओगे Azure के साथ? सही है। Private connection means it is not going over public internet. It is going through your own connection. It is kind of like कि मैं जाऊँ PTCL से मैं direct line लूँ एक PTCL तक, PTCL की direct line हो Azure के data center की तरफ। सही है। This is what a private connection is. ये मुझे पहले line lease करें, that मेरा कनेक्शन हो PTCL के साथ या कोई भी पाकिस्तान में जो प्रोवाइडर्स हैं उनके साथ, और उसके बाद बेसिकली मेरा कनेक्शन हो टू द माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के साथ। यस, सो बेसिकली ये आप ना, मैं मैसेज में देख नहीं रहा था, जस्ट अनम्यूट एंड क्या कहते हैं मुझे बता दिया करो क्या सवाल है। एनीवे, मैंने कल बताया था कि VPN गेटवे जो है आपका, इट हैज अ पब्लिक IP एड्रेस, और जो ऑन प्रेमिसेस है उसका पब्लिक IP एड्रेस है। तो ये आप इसको बताते हो कि यू नीड टू मेक कनेक्शन विद दिस पब्लिक IP एड्रेस एंड विद सर्टेन पैरामीटर्स, और आप इसको कहते हो कि यू नीड टू मेक अ कनेक्शन विद दिस गाय एंड दिस इज द पब्लिक IP एड्रेस ऑफ दिस वन. So they both make a connection to each other with some specific settings and specific password. And that's, तो ये public internet के ऊपर जा रहा है connection. It creates the tunnel. It creates a secure tunnel over public internet. Please be very clear about this one. सही है? तो क्या कर रहा है? It's making the network connection over a public network with each other. It creates a secure tunnel, an encrypted tunnel between these two things over a public internet. Yeah. It is still encrypted. It is still between your networks, but it's going over public network. This one is going over your specific line, your specific network. तो आप क्या करते हो? आप कहते हो जिस तरह पार्टनर है, let's say PTCL is partner. आप कहते हो PTCL को कि I want to make a dedicated connection to you. वो आपको लाइन दे देंगे 50 Mbps की, 100 Mbps की। तो ये उसके बाद what happens is PTCL will make a connection to Microsoft Edge. और Microsoft Edge जो है from there on it has private connections to Azure, Office 365, Dynamics, whatever Microsoft use services them. सही है? So this is what it is. तो Microsoft क्या करते हैं? अब जिस तरह for example पाकिस्तान में there is no data center. But what will happen is Microsoft कहेगा हम आपकी edge location बना रहे हैं, वहां से हमारा private network होगा to our data centers, right? तो आप अगर कनेक्शन यहां तक लिए हैं, यहां से आगे हमारा कनेक्शन है to our data centers. That guarantees you bandwidth. That guarantees you, I mean, secure private direct connection. ठीक है? This is the beauty of this. तो आपने अगर 50 Mbps कनेक्शन चाहिए आपको Microsoft डेटा सेंटर के साथ, from here to here you can get complete 50 Mbps connection. सही है? Which is your private connection also. सही है? So this is the beauty of this one. Of course, the minimum connection you can get is 50 Mbps. और उसके बाद दूसरा मसला ये है कि this is very expensive. आपको इतनी बड़ी bandwidth मिल रही है directly to the Microsoft data center. सही है? So it becomes pretty expensive. But Microsoft की cost is not too much. It's actually the cost of the provider. जो partner है, जो telecom का telco है, telecom company है जो आपको bandwidth दे रही है, that is the most expensive part. Microsoft doesn't charge too much. So we can take a look over here. If I go to Azure pricing calculator, you can see what express route from Microsoft charges, right? अगर मैं इसमें जा रहा हूँ express route, सही है? Private connection to Azure. I can take a look, and you can see also, for example, so zone 1, there are different zones, standard, let's say standard, metered, unlimited is 300. और उसके बाद ये Microsoft की prices हैं, सही है? For example, I can have 2 circuits. तो Microsoft कह रहे हैं मैं आपको you will be able to connect with us with this bandwidth for this much price. यानी कि यहां से edge से आपको जो ये connectivity मिल रही है into Microsoft data center, this is 50 Mbps. अगर आपने इसको ज्यादा करना है, सही है? You can see it becomes higher cost. But this is not, this is only from here to here, सही है? ये जो ये वाली चीज है, ये वाली यहां से ये जो कनेक्शन है, this is the most expensive. It can be around ये जो आपकी प्राइस है इस वक्त 50 Mbps. It might cost you $9,000-10,000 per month. But companies can.
Sorry for interruption. So, what's the difference between Partner Edge and Microsoft Edge? Partner Edge is client side edge or what?
नहीं, मैंने कहा था आपने सबसे पहले तो कहीं तक जाना ना जहां से डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन होगा एज तक, सही है? Microsoft Edge तक. Microsoft Edge is, you can think of a small networking center which is available in your region that has direct connection to Microsoft data centers. For example, हो सकता है Microsoft अपना Edge जो है वो कराची में सेटअप कर दे, तो वो कहेगा यहां से हम आपको Azure data center तक का प्राइवेट कनेक्शन दे देंगे आपको, सही है? With a guaranteed bandwidth and private connection, सही है? That guarantees you the performance and everything, सही है? अब आपने यहां तक पहुंचना है, आप किस तरह पहुंचोगे? आप PT सेल को कहोगे कि जी हमें प्राइवेट कनेक्शन चाहिए अपने डेटा सेंटर से Microsoft Edge तक, सही है? आप लाहौर में बैठे हो फॉर एग्जांपल, तो जी आप हमारे से डायरेक्ट बैंडविड्थ ले लो 50 Mbps की, हम आपको डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन कर देंगे यहां से Microsoft Edge तक, सही है? तो वो PT सेल का काम होगा, यहां से Microsoft आगे काम शुरू हो जाएगा, सही है? Again, this is scenario where you don't have the Microsoft data center in your area. Sometimes you don't need to go to Microsoft Edge अगर data center आपके region के अंदर है. So Edge is for those kind of scenarios. सही है? And the name also tells you Edge, where actual service is not there, but there is somebody who can take your traffic to the actual location. सही है? So that becomes a very cost-effective thing for the vendors also. कि आपने सर्विस तो एक बनाई है for the region, but you have a lot of edge locations which can take the traffic from different places to your main data center and guarantee the connectivity, because you can control the connectivity and all those things, right? So this is the beauty. अब ये जो partner connection है to the edge, this is by certified providers. anybody cannot just make a connection to this one. So ये जो है अपना पूरा वो resources लेके आते हैं partners, telecom companies, they get certified from Microsoft that yes, you can make the connection. So they have to do a lot of certifications to guarantee the performance, to guarantee the service basically, right? The SLA. So उसके लिए basically they have to get certified. So it's a long process. जिस तरह सऊदी अरब में, for example, there are 2-3 different companies who are certified now. Not all of them are certified. So they have to work with Microsoft to guarantee and do this kind of connectivity to ensure they can give the services. So, yeah. Or there's a list of actually of these things. If I go into express route, so yeah, let me see if I can do express route. Let me see. UAE North. यहाँ पे आगे providers. So yeah, there are many different providers. Vodafone है, local है, different groups हैं who are providing connectivity to this region. So yeah, so they're doing this. I can say, let's see, I'm going with let's say Vodafone Qatar. So yeah. So I can the location है, bandwidth, I can pick the bandwidth. So yeah. ये कनेक्ट करेगा उसके साथ क्या कहते हैं यहाँ पे कनेक्शन होएगा बेसिकली. ठीक है, नेम भी आपको बता रहे peering. It's like peering what we do, right? Not the same peering, but it's telling you from here they're gonna join. The connection from here will be connected to the Microsoft data center. Let's see what else is there. Verizon. Verizon के they're different, right? Usually a different. जहाँ जहाँ इनकी सर्विस है, जहाँ जहाँ इनकी ये peering locations हैं, सही है? Can pick them. Let me see in the local region क्या कहते हैं, ये यहाँ वहीं का है. I'm trying to see कोई specific इनका जो है इनका है एक सलाह मेरा ख्याल है. Let's see if they are there. अच्छा मैं let me see if I can go to a different region as well. ये north है, यहाँ पे हमारा है. Let's see, West Europe. West Europe आ गया हमारा. Configuration. में हमारा है एक, for example, Zen. Yeah, I don't know which groups are there, but anyway, you can see, you can pick the different ones. The provider are all जो उनके साथ वो होते हैं, क्या कहते हैं, certified only then. सही है, ये वाले जो हैं इसके अंदर there are multiple different options. Don't need to go over here, but this is the main scenario that you have to worry about. सही है. और जनरली एक और थिंग टू बी वेरी क्लियर, ये जो Azure के डेटा सेंटर्स हैं जनरली इसके अंदर ऑफिस की भी सर्विसेज होंगी, इसके अंदर डायनामिक्स की भी सर्विसेज होंगी. सही है. तो इस Azure, Dynamics, Office, all the cloud services are there generally in the same data center. सही है. Again, private connection, वो internet it goes through internet, VPN one, express out goes over private connection. सही है. Guarantees you bandwidth, guarantees you private connection. सही है. So yes, ये basically वो है.
Sir, the bandwidth we chose in previous step, वो हमारी Microsoft Edge से to Microsoft Data Center की bandwidth है, that is guaranteed by Microsoft.
नहीं, ये bandwidth यहाँ तक है, हमें इसकी परवाह नहीं है ज्यादा. तो
ये bandwidth partner Edge से Microsoft Edge तक है, ये वो वाली है.
नहीं, you are right. ये वाली bandwidth Microsoft से ले रहे हैं. तो ये वाली bandwidth.
Yes.
ये वाली जो है ये हम उनसे डायरेक्टली खरीदेंगे. सही है. And you want to make sure ये ना आपने 100 यहाँ से ले लिया, 50 यहाँ से ले लिया, it will be useless. सही है. या 100 यहाँ से ले लिया, 50 यहाँ से ले लिया, it will be useless. सही है. Make sure both match, so you're getting the full benefit. ये Azure के ऊपर जो है that is Microsoft bandwidth जिससे हम कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं बेसिकली. सही है. और वहां से हम उसकी मैचिंग बैंडविड्थ उनसे खरीदेंगे पार्टनर से. अच्छा जी. सो अगेन बेनिफिट्स, अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट वी आर डूइंग. हमारी उसी तरह प्राइवेट कनेक्टिविटी है और वी कैन डू इज गोइंग विद प्राइवेट कनेक्शन. इसके अंदर मुझे रिलायबिलिटी है, सिक्योरिटी है, And of course, when you have dedicated bandwidth, you have dedicated bandwidth, वो आपको you get reliable कि आपको कितना ट्रैफिक मिलना है, ट्रैफिक मिलनी है, सही है. बिकॉज अदरवाइज क्या होता है, अगर मैं इंटरनेट के ऊपर जा रहा हूँ, मेरी VPN डिवाइसेस है, समथिंग हैपेंस, माय थिंग्स कैन फ्लक्चुएट, राइट. लोड आ गया कहीं पे, whatever happens, right, it can fluctuate. But यहाँ पे I'm guaranteed everything, right. Of course, cost is quite a bit. But generally, organization जब काम कर रही होती हैं, and they have big data centers in the cloud, big subscription to SaaS services, they don't mind paying this cost, right? अगर आपका $100,000-200,000 आपका spend हो रहा है महीने का just for the services, right? You don't have any problem paying $9,000-10,000 a month just for the bandwidth and the connectivity. सही है? So it works out well, क्या कहते हैं? क्योंकि आप वैसे भी आपने bandwidth खरीदी हुई होती है. जो आपके data centers होते हैं to go outside and to go to other regions for DR, you have purchased bandwidth. So it's not a very difficult decision over here कि हमने ये bandwidth खरीदनी है यहाँ पे, सही है? So it's not too much increment what they're doing already. सही है? Again, problem domain, be very clear for the VNets, for the VPN, and for the express route. सही है? Last but not least, I mean, in the networking services. So yeah, we need to understand DNS. What is DNS? क्या function है DNS का?
It translates IP over human readable domain name service.
So yeah, if I do this, so it's a mapping of IP to the name, website name for us, right? If I do ping www.google.com, right? Okay, let's see if I ping google.com. अब आप ये देख रहे हो कि क्या चीज आ गई? What is this thing, by the way?
So the original IP of that website.
No. ये IP address तो लग नहीं रहा. Does it look like
sorry,
IP address?
it's not readable. It's not readable actually.
What is it? ये है IPv6 address. सही है? IP version 6 address. You can see it has still the वो है क्या कहते हैं, उसके 4 ही वो हैं, लेकिन sort of octets. But again, these are not octets, right? क्योंकि आप नंबर के बड़े होते जा रहे हैं इसमें. यहाँ पे E चले गए, यहाँ पे hex है basically, सही है? You can see there's a E also. तो ये है, यहाँ पे A भी आया हुआ है, सही है? So that means is a hex. These are again 4, I don't know if they call them octets or what. And this likes a port also, so yeah. So the range is much bigger. This is IPv6. If I do, for example, ping.com, my IPv6 के ऊपर जा रहा है basically, सही है? But important point is what is the service that is mapping this bing.com to this guy? सही है? This is the DNS services. अब मेरे पास DNS कहाँ से आ गया? सही है? Where is, if I do IP config all, सही है? Now you will see certain things. Let's see if I have यहाँ पे मेरा DHCP, जो मेरा गेटवे है ना यहाँ पे, let's see, जो मेरा ये है internet connection, that gives me it maps my basically DNS services, right? और मेरा जो provider है ना ISP, that is doing the DNS resolution for me. Let me see if there's a DNS over here. ये देखो DNS server. अब मेरा जो local DNS server है, this is my modem. This is my internet modem. जब उसके पास request जाती है ना, it knows the next guy to send the request to if it doesn't have the information cache. कई basic websites की it caches. सही है? You can run your own DNS server. But the problem is there's a big network of DNS servers. Each knows who the next guy they can talk to. So yeah, it's kind of like hierarchy in organization. आप सबसे नीचे वाले बंदे से पूछोगे, उसके पास information होगी, नहीं होगी अपने मैनेजर से पूछेगा, वो अपने मैनेजर से पूछेगा, something like that, right? एक global network है DNS का. और DNS की hacking जो है, that is very disastrous, right? It can bring down everything because no resolution will work. Nobody knows the IP addresses, right? It can bring down everything. ठीक है? और ये हुआ है 2-3 दफा, आप देखना ऑनलाइन सर्च करना. Let me see if I can search something. DNS. Let me see. DNS attacks. So yeah, you can take a look. This can bring down worldwide outage basically. Let me see the DNS outage जो हुई थी मैं recently किसी की हुई थी.
Sir, I think Facebook last year in late last year, Facebook just disappeared off the internet.
Yeah, lot of things that happen. So it's a very interesting issue, and there are a lot of security around that one as well. So yeah. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so DNS is mapping of this. So Azure also provides you DNS services. So yeah. And there are, for example, अब यहाँ पे अगर Azure के अंदर जाओ, अब होता क्या है? We have lot of services जो हमारे private IP addresses हैं. We want to able to internally we want to provide some DNS service. So we have what we call DNS zones. So yeah, we have DNS zones. So yeah, DNS is a hosting server, DNS domains. So yeah, Microsoft के अपने DNS servers हैं, and you can host your domain names over there. Not only that, I can do private DNS zones. So yeah, private DNS zone, and for that, I can, for all my infrastructure and services, all my IP addresses, all different things, I can put stuff over here. So yeah, so this is what the private DNS zones do. So yeah, ये देखो, private DNS zone provide name resolution services within virtual networks. So yeah, it cannot be accessed over network. Nice thing is, अगर मैं कहूँ मुझे service ABC चाहिए, मेरी private DNS zone के अंदर I can provide the name and the IP address, private IP address. Then what happens is that it can resolve for me. I don't need to know any of the IP addresses in my private network. So yeah. So yeah. And you can see also, इसका link होता है private DNS zone का virtual network के साथ. So I need to, anyway, I don't want to go into too much detail. तो इसका link होता है, the virtual networks, the stuff on virtual network can query the DNS zone in its that is linked to it. So yeah. So हमने basically, for example, if I say, for example, this one, and I can say, for example, I can say CS4037 DNS zone 01. अच्छा वो कह रहा है, सॉरी, वो कह रहा है CS, इसका नाम बताओ सही तरह इसका. तो ये .local. तो ये I can do something like this. वो कह रहा है ये मैं, so I can do like this. सही. अब क्या होगा अगर मैं कोई भी चीज बनाऊंगा यहाँ पे, अब मेरी वर्चुअल मशीन है, I am saying let's say fast01, that is a VM name, but I can provide the full name fast01.cs437.com. ये पूरा नाम बन जाएगा उसका, because it is part of this DNS zone. Anything that comes under this, उसका automatically ये नाम बन जाएगा, fully qualified domain name, kind of like this, like portal.azure.com. But this is purely internal. Sometimes we do internal के लिए local भी कर देते हैं हम. सही है. So this is what we do for local ones also, to differentiate कि local है और वो external है. सही है. But anything that comes under this, मैं इसमें दिखाता हूँ वो करके. इसमें different record types होते हैं. तो ये एक होता है A record, एक होता है C record, and aliases and various different things. सही है. तो मेन चीज है इसके अंदर, इसको बना लूं, मैं दिखाता हूँ आपको. Let's see if I can switch to the other one on production. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो, मैं यहाँ पे देखूंगा ऐप सर्विसेज, नॉट स्विचिंग एक्चुअली, ऐप सर्विसेज. Sorry, let me see if I can go to. nice. So ये record बनते हैं. I can create a record. I can create, for example, VM01, and I can say this is 10 dot whatever my IP address can be, right? And I can say, for example, I can say what address I want to map to, what resource I need to map to. It's over here. Let's take a look. So let's say my VM is 10.10.0.1. Okay, this is my IP address. So this is alias. So ये alias record है. Point directly to an Azure resource. My VM is this. Let's say this is the IP address. I can point this one directly to the virtual machine. So ये मैं alias record बना रहा हूँ. There are different kind of records also. There is CNAME. So yeah, CNAME होता है कि मेरे पास नाम already है, मैं उसको different नाम देना चाह रहा हूँ. For example, let's see if I have a virtual machine. यार ये क्यों नहीं switch हो रही? I need it to switch over here. तो ये अब ये देखो आप, ये मेरे पास ऐप सर्विसेज है. लेट्स सी. तो ये ऐप सर्विस अगर आप नाम देखो यहाँ पे जाके, जो मुझे नाम दिया हुआ इसने ऑटोमेटिकली, इसने दिया है Azure websites.net. जब भी आप वेब ऐप बनाते हो, यूजुअली डिपेंडिंग ऑन कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट कहता है मैं आपको एक डिफॉल्ट नाम दे दूंगा. गो इनटू ओपन इन न्यू टैब. तो ये आई एम एक्सेसिंग दिस डायरेक्टली. तो ये बट आई डोंट वांट एनीबॉडी. मैं कहता हूँ यार ये कोई भी यहाँ पे आएगा ना Azure websites.net के ऊपर, I don't want them to see this name. I want to give them some other name. इसके लिए हम बनाते हैं CNAME और canonical name. Link your subdomain to another record. मैं कह रहा हूँ जी मेरा डोमेन है उसके अंदर यहाँ पे है. सही है. So what I will do is मैं कहूँगा app01 और यहाँ पे मैं कहूँगा I can point this one. This is what CNAMEs are. कि आपके पास existing नाम है, you want to map it to a different name in your domain, you can do this using CNAME. Link your subdomain to another record. Okay. Anybody tries to come, वो उसको कहेगा जी इसका CNAME है, go to this place. Okay. So CNAME is to map an existing record with a new record. So yeah. Or A name is to map an IP address directly to your record. नाम जो है अपने DNS के अंदर नाम जो है, so this is alias and this is CNAME. A record and CNAME, and you can see over here also. So, yeah. Or of course, to manage this DNS zone, we have access control as usual, just like everything else. So yeah.
Sir, can you repeat what's a name or alias?
Alias is to map IP address to a resource, to a name. तो ये हमने क्या किया था यहाँ पे, हमने कहा था ये नाम जो है, give it to this IP address which belong to maybe one of the virtual machines, one of my Azure resources. तो ये जिस तरह लिखा हुआ ना लास्ट पॉइंट स्लाइड के ऊपर, alias records support alias record sets to point directly to an Azure resource. ये मेरा alias record है, ये नाम है मेरा in my private DNS zone, and this is the Azure IP address that I wanted to map to.
So in order if I want to hide this name, I will use CNAME, जो कि इसी name के ऊपर एक map कर देगा सर, another record.
अब ये जो है A record है, अब A record को hide करने के लिए I need a CNAME. तो ये exactly.
Okay.
if I need to. Generally सिचुएशन होती है since आप पहली दफा record बना रहे हो अपने लिए, so when you create an A record, you don't need a C name because C name is where you do not have control over this guy जो नाम दिया हुआ है already. सही है? जब आप वरना आपने असल तो इसी को चेंज करना है ना, आप कहते हो वरना नाम आप you want to give it yourself. अब किसी और ने नाम दिया हुआ है, you want to overwrite, you will do CNAME. सही है? माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने कहा है आपको, मैं आपको इसका बाय डिफॉल्ट डोमेन नेम दे दूंगा ये. सही है? आपने इसको ओवरराइट करना है, आप इसको चेंज नहीं कर सकते क्यों? ये माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का डोमेन है azurewebsites.net. ट्रू? तो when you have a situation where you cannot change the existing name but you want to overwrite, you want to redirect to a different domain, so you will do CNAME or what we call canonical name. So yeah, if you look at it, for example, DNS, if I do CNAME, so yeah, so understand, so yeah, वो वहां पे जाएगा azurewebsites.net के ऊपर. सही है? वो बताएगा जी ये इसका कुछ और नेम है. सही है? Find the whole DNS record. सही है? तो उसका वो नाम बताएगा आगे आगे. सही है? तो एग्जिस्टिंग जो है नाम, एग्जिस्टिंग नाम जो है उसको ओवरराइड करना है, आपको CNAME बनाना पड़ेगा उसके लिए. सही है? दिस इज व्हाट द CNAME इज. सही है? लेट मी सी फॉर और एक्सप्लेनेशन दे रहा है यहाँ पे.
And this ANM CNAME service is provided by DNS, Azure DNS.
Exactly. ये different scenarios हैं. सही है?
So this is the benefit of using Azure DNS, no? Selling point.
नहीं, these are standard DNS services from anyone.
Okay.
सही है? ये Azure कह रहे हैं मेरे पास भी DNS services that provide you all these services. सही है? बट मैं आपको जो एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ these are standard. अब आप कहते हो मैं किसी और से DNS लेता हूँ, आपको Azure से क्या फायदा है? Azure से ये फायदा है कि आपकी सारी सर्विसेज आर सिटिंग इन Azure, so you can control DNS in Azure as well. ठीक है? And it's a very, very cheap service. It's per transaction or per request. And you get, I mean, if you look at it, DNS service. तो अगर आप कहते हो इसके अंदर पब्लिक या प्राइवेट जो भी है, तो yeah, you look at it, DNS queries in million. 2 million queries are $30, right? I mean, it's pretty cheap. There's really nothing, right? So you can host these things into your Azure. कैसे क्या होता है? Let's say GoDaddy है, बड़ी common service है DNS की. आपको request भेजनी पड़ती है, वहाँ control panel है separately. You have to go there, or sometimes जो DNS की जो providers हैं, you have to send them a request and ask them to update, right? Over here, everything is under your control. आपका permission दो उसके ऊपर to the right person in your organization. He can manage all the DNS entries. So yeah, so it gives you everything under your control. तो ये है basically. सही है? तो मेन चीज है it's Azure की अपनी DNS सर्विस है. You have full control, you have full access management, and you can do everything what a regular DNS service allows you. But this is a PaaS service. No need to manage DNS server. No need to manage anything else. So yeah, and you can see also you have everything else. So let me see. Go back into the DNS service. So yeah, here's the link. जो मैंने बताया था ना, virtual network link. You can create a link of this one. So yeah, मैं कहूँ VNet link. So yeah, and from here I can see this is my, for example, VNet, and I can do OK. अब जब link हो गया ना, anybody who wants to resolve automatically go to this private zone. So yeah, so this will act as a DNS server for this virtual network, right? It's really amazing service. So this is the benefit of PaaS, right? वरना आपने क्या करना था? आपने VNet में जाना था, आपने DNS server बनाना था, VM बनानी थी, and then you have to link, right? और VNet के अंदर, if you want to link to DNS servers, right? You can see I can provide the IP address over here. So yeah, if I have a DNS server, I don't have to do all of that. So yeah. Let me see अगर वो दिखा रहा है अभी नहीं है. So we don't have to do all of that. So this is how you tie the Azure DNS zone, private DNS zone to the virtual network or virtual network के जो भी resources होंगे, they will be able to do the resolution. So yeah, with this one. Automatically उनको बता देगा कि ये DNS zone है. When you do DNS entry or do a DNS query from the virtual machines or from any resource, automatically it can do the resolution using the private DNS zone. I have done pretty much the whole configuration आपके सामने कि उसको मैंने लिंक कर दिया, मैंने प्राइवेट DNS जोन बनाई है और उसको मैंने इस VNet के साथ लिंक कर दिया. तो जो मैं रिकॉर्ड बनाता रहूंगा ऑटोमेटिकली जो VNet जो भी रिसोर्सेज हैं, if they want to see what, if I give them the name, it will be automatically able to resolve it to the proper IP address. So yeah, that's the whole thing, right? I do not have to remember the IP addresses of anything on my network. I can just give any service the name that it needs to connect to. Automatically it can resolve from the private DNS zone, right? This is the main value proposition of this one. And this is how you design, right? If I need this service, what I will do, I will create a private DNS zone, I will link it to the VNet, and this is how I'll get started with a DNS service in Azure. So yeah, I have done something that we do actually in real world environments, real life situations. Any questions? Next part we are starting is essentially, this was overview of Azure DNS networking services. Right? Now we come to Azure storage services. Right? And along with virtual machines, with the compute, this is one of the very, very big areas, storage. And what services Azure provides, right? It's a very critical and important area. So these are the main objectives of this thing. We'll look into this thing, what Azure storage services are, what kind of storage there are, what are the redundancy options, how it duplicates, backups, various different things, what are the different storage types, and how do you move files into Azure, how do you synchronize files from on-premises, various different things, right? And also, I mean, if you have massive amount of data, how do you migrate your storage into Azure? In and out of Azure, basically, right? So we'll take a look at all those things. So storage accounts must have globally unique name. मैं यहाँ पे आता हूँ और मैं कहता हूँ ये I need to see a storage account, right? You can see storage accounts, and I can create a storage account. So, yeah. Now I can say AK, let's say 01. Let's see something else. Okay, it's already taken. So yeah, the name must be globally unique. So yeah, understand this point. That means storage account, it's getting replicated. I can access the same name from anywhere in the world. It must be unique. It must have globally unique name. Provide over the internet access worldwide. So yeah. इसके अंदर, so again, यहाँ जो important point है, it is not based on your subscription, based on your thing. So if I need, for example, I can say AK storage 01, right? Here is already taken. I can do 001. Teams is happy. Let's see UAE. You know, yeah. It seems to be happy. Yeah. अब यहाँ पे redundancy. यहाँ पे आप ये देखो redundancy दिखा रहा है. I can say locally redundant storage. तो ये वो क्या कह रहा है? Lowest cost option with basic protection against server, rack, and drive failures. This is what LRS is. LRS. उसने 3 copies बनानी है on different racks. कुछ हो जाए in the same data center. See, it's one data center. So it's going to create 3 different copies. यानी कि एक rack fail हो गया है, power चली गई. See, it seems like very much like the क्या चीज से match कर रही है? Anybody remembers 3 copies?
So vertical scale sets, VM scale sets.
No.
Fault domain, sir. Availability sets.
Fault domain, right? It matching fault domain, right? So it's giving you complete redundancy against server rack failures and drive failures. 3 copies बना रहे 3 different in a single data center. सही है? This is LRS. This is the cheapest one. Then we come to ZRS. सही है? ZRS कह रहा है कि मैं इसको एक कॉपी बनाऊंगा एक जोन में, दूसरी बनाऊंगा दूसरी जगह, तीसरी बनाऊंगा तीसरी जगह, तीसरी जोन के अंदर. एंड वी रिमेंबर कि एक रीजन के अंदर वी कैन हैव अप टू 3 जोन्स. तो ये हमने पढ़ा था ना कि जो रीजन पेयर्स हैं और जोन्स हैं, वी कैन हैव टू 3 मुख्तलिफ डेटा सेंटर्स के अंदर ये बनाता है कॉपीज. एंड द नेम इज यूनिक. अब वही नाम की कॉपी बन रही है. व्हाट विल हैपन? अभी आईपी एड्रेस ये है. लेट्स सी इफ दिस वन गोज डाउन, वो नाम जो है इट विल मैप टू द न्यू आईपी एड्रेस ओवर हियर विद द सेम नेम. एवरीवन विल बी कनेक्टिंग टू दिस गाय. इफ दिस गोज डाउन, Microsoft DNS will update the IP address of the same name to this IP address. So yeah, and everybody will, without knowing anything, they'll be connecting to this guy. So yeah, this is what zone redundant storage is. So yeah, then we come to geo redundant storage. So yeah, in a totally different region. आपकी 3 कॉपीज भी बन रही हैं यहाँ पे और आपकी 3 कॉपीज वहां पे ही बन रही हैं. दिस इज द मोस्ट वन ऑफ द मोस्ट एक्सपेंसिव ऑप्शंस. क्यों? डबल स्टोरेज हो रही है. जो स्टोरेज कॉस्ट है उसके अंदर 3 कॉपीज की तो वो ऑलरेडी दे रहा है आपको. सही है? कॉस्ट, राइट? इफ इज गोना डू द सेम थिंग, कॉस्ट डबल हो जाएगी. यहाँ पे आप देखो, अगर आप प्राइसिंग कैलकुलेटर के ऊपर जाओ, एंड इफ आई गो इनटू स्टोरेज अकाउंट, सही है, स्टोरेज अकाउंट्स, इफ आई डू दिस, यहाँ पे let's see, I'm going to pick North, UAE North. So yeah, इसको मैं कह रहा हूँ, let's fine, we'll stay with this one. So yeah, यहाँ पे देखो LRS. अब मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, कितनी में चाहिए? 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte is about 2028. अगर मैं से कहता हूँ GRS, it becomes double, straight double. So yeah, ZRS, let's see, वो कह रहे हैं कि ZRS के अंदर यहाँ पे रीजन में अवेलेबल नहीं है. Let's go to, let's see, Central US. So, yeah. ZRS is much less, right? Almost same price. क्यों? क्योंकि storage is not taking any extra thing. उसे सिर्फ कॉपिंग ले रहा है और बैंडविड्थ इनकी अपनी है. सही है? So they're happy about it. Microsoft की data centers के remain the same region is their own bandwidth. सही है? LRS. LRS.
So making 3 copies is a fixed number or it varies?
Fixed number. No, fixed number.
Okay.
Fixed number, absolutely. And ये आपके पास कंट्रोल नहीं है इसका, आपको नजर भी नहीं आता. Now you do. वो simply Microsoft will take care of it should something happens. So, yeah.
So it's fixed in whether it is locally redundant, zone redundant, or geographic redundant.
Exactly.
The count will be
automatic. Microsoft will manage this one. Absolutely. आपको इसका कंट्रोल है. वो आपको basically behind the scenes architecture बना रहे हैं, and they're giving you this confidence that your data is secure against failures and against whatever. So, yeah. And of course you have GRS, you have LRS, you have GRS. So, yeah. And then you have GZRS. GZRS कहते हैं कि आपके पास जोन के अंदर कॉपीज हैं, and then this is replicated to a secondary region. So yeah, this gives you a highest level of reliability against failures. It's zone redundant as well as geo redundant. So yeah, is this clear? So as you can see, this is zone coupled with geo redundant, GZRS. So yeah. Now, interesting part in these things is that you cannot read from over here. Some customers कहते हैं हमें यहाँ से भी we want to be able to read from over here as well. Then you have something called RAGRS, read access GRS. Okay, you can read from over here also. It's a little bit of extra cost. Microsoft allows you to read from over here also. You can also do read access on the GZRS. So yeah, so this is GZRS, and you have over here GRS. Yeah, so in दोनों के ऊपर in the secondary copy, Microsoft allows you to do read access as well. यहाँ पे read write हो रहा है, ये synchronize हो रहा है यहाँ पे, but Microsoft says you can read from over here as well. So yeah, so there are many scenarios where you want to use that. आपका data बहुत massive है, you want to do some reporting or whatever, you can do all those things over here without affecting the performance over here. So yeah, यहाँ पे read write हो रहा है बड़ा massive, यहाँ पे synchronize हो रहा है, you can do all the activities like reporting everything over on this one, right, without affecting this one. So it works out very well. ये databases के अंदर भी है basically, where you can do the read from a secondary node without affecting the primary node. यहाँ पे सारा काम हो रहा है, extensive read writes हो रहे हैं primary copy के ऊपर. You don't have to worry about it. So yeah, you work only on the secondary copy to do any kind of reporting and all that. So it works out very well. इसमें उन्होंने ये भी लिखा हुआ durability. So yeah, 11 nines, 12 nines, 16 nines. What it means is, so yeah, it means that it's like 11 nines out of 1 billion objects. For 100 years, there's a probability that you might not lose even a single object. So yeah, for all practical purposes, I mean, it's because of the architecture and because of what they're doing right now, right? This is what they're doing. This is what they're saying, which is fine, right? अब आप कहोगे किस तरह calculation की है? Calculation है, and I mean, basically what they do is they stress the systems to come up with certain formula and agreed upon scenarios, right? To come up with these kind of things. But primarily it's the architecture. Underneath architecture, the disk layouts, the disk, various different options, right? That industry has come up with these kind of things, right? But I mean, nobody knows these kind of things and nobody bothers about the durability part. Generally, everything is backed up, everything is there, so it works out fine. So yeah, ये हमारी ये सारी redundancy options थी. So yeah. अच्छा, यहाँ पे हमने किया था, फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स गो इनटू, अब यहाँ पे है स्टैंडर्ड प्रीमियम. सही है, सो दे आर गिविंग यू अ प्रीमियम डिस्क, कुड बी द प्रीमियम एसएसडी. सही है, दैट कैन अफेक्ट द कॉस्ट आल्सो. और उसके अंदर आपको क्या चीज करनी है, अपने फाइल शेयर करना है कि आपको ब्लॉब्स चाहिए. ब्लॉब्स कैन बी रिटन फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ बाइनरी फाइल्स, राइट? आपकी ऑडियो, वीडियो, एनी काइंड ऑफ फाइल्स, आपकी डेटाबेस फाइल्स हैं, व्हाटएवर, राइट? You can put in the blobs. So yeah, high transaction, blobs, high transaction, low latency, so on and so forth, right? So आपको अगर premium चाहिए, then you can use, you can use the premium. Of course, the cost goes up, right? अगर आप यहाँ पे आओ, tier is premium, right? So if you look at it, it becomes much more expensive, right? You can see straight उसी 1 terabyte की, it has become 180. It used to be 1840, right? So this is from the standard HDD, और यहाँ पे आपको दे रहा है maybe premium SSD, basically, right? Seems like this is what's happening. और ये आपको बता रहा है LRS है, ZRS, और उसके अंदर आप देख लो कि उसके अंदर आपके पास सारी ऑप्शंस ही अवेलेबल है इसके अंदर. सही है, स्टैंडर्ड के अंदर you have all these options. Premium के अंदर you don't have available. सही है, because seem like storage array is different. जो storage का जो pieces आपको दे रहे हैं, that is very much different. So it's not offering all the services. सही है, and you don't need, I mean, becomes extremely cost prohibitive to do these kind of things, right? अगर अपने database run कर रहे हो, कुछ भी कर रहे हो, it's better to take your own backups. सही है, with and based on your business requirements. Then we see ये जो हमने पहले पढ़ा था यहाँ पे. सही है, आप यहाँ पे भी देखोगे टाइप. सही है, हमने कहा कंटेनर स्टोरेज इज ब्लॉब. सही है, and that is for storing binary data, text, binary data, Word documents, Excel sheets, audio, video, whatever, right? It is there. उसके बाद आपकी disk storage आ गई, managed disk, right? These are needed for virtual machines. So yes, it becomes, you have various different options. You can see, let me see why it is giving me this. Let me see. Yes, services may be not available for this region. I'm not sure. Let's see. यहाँ पे भी नहीं है. We'll do SSD, premium SSD. So yeah. So V2 is seem like it's not available most of the places right now. ये जब आपको मिलता है ना, that means service is not currently available in the region. So it's being rolled out. It seems like premium SSD V2. So मैं खुद भी पहली दफा देख रहा हूँ. This is how quickly new things come up in Azure and in cloud services, right? Or इसके अंदर, for example, you can see, I will pick this one. So yeah, and you can see one disk, and they're different disks, right? Let's say 1 terabyte. So it is $147.46 per month. So yeah, 1 terabyte premium SSD. These are high performance SSD, right? So sometimes it might be anyway. So this is what it is. You have ultra disk also for extremely high IO scenarios, right? And you can see also iski jo disk hai, one disk 730 hours, and you can do for hour by hours also, and with the various different things as well. So yeah, and you have this one as well. So this is for generally for simulation, heavy IO, and those kind of things. You can do these ones. Okay, and you can see also this one. They give you the IOPS also. The cost becomes almost double. So yeah, so यहाँ पे IOPS becomes very very critical. यहाँ पे, so yeah, and you can define कि आपको IOPS कितने चाहिए यहाँ पे. And lot of times, sometimes we require 4,000 or 5,000, right? So it can become really expensive. But there are systems that require this kind of IOPS. So yeah. So this is disk. And Azure Files is essentially like a file server. You can put files, you can do connectivity, you can hook up servers, you can hook up computers to it, you can share and do all those things. It provides you all of that. और ये मैं कर सकता हूँ यहाँ पे. If I go into storage account, मैं कहता हूँ यहाँ पे LRS, I'll keep it standard, go advanced, various different settings. I will not worry about this one. So yeah, I will create this account. So मैं आपको Azure Files दिखाना चाह रहा हूँ. So there are many different settings for many different scenarios. Right now, we'll go over some of the critical ones basically. Or if you look at it, right, it's about, अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो इसको pricing calculator के ऊपर, मैं अगर कहता हूँ block storage, I'm saying standard tier, LRS, HART, all these things. I mean, it's not very expensive. 1 terabyte per month is $20. So yeah. And for organizations, it becomes very nice. They don't have to manage. $20 के अंदर आपको 1 terabyte मिल रही है. I can do terabyte also. Let's say 10 terabytes, right? And $200, right? Works out very well. आपको 3 copies मिल रही हैं. Data is redundant and all those things, right? And you get a lot of services with it. यहाँ पे मैं इसको Azure Files भी कर सकता हूँ. So yeah. Now it becomes a bit more. So yeah. आपको यहाँ पे वो ले रहा है, but it's providing you a lot of services with it also. So yeah. ये मैं दिखाता हूँ आपको यहाँ पे. How does this thing work? ये मेरा storage account आगे. You can see file shares. So yeah. And I can create a file share. And file share के अंदर you can upload pretty much anything. You can just dump everything over here. So yeah. और इसके अंदर हमारे पास tools हैं, मैं भी discuss करूँगा, which allow you to copy massive files into this one at very high speed. So yeah. So you can do many different things, and I can connect to this guy. So yeah. मैं अगर कहता हूँ ये देखो तो मैंने इसी को connect करना है अपने साथ. सही है. What I will do is this one, and I will do this. I'll go into PowerShell. Let me just open a new one. So yeah. Now if you look at it, ये Azure के ऊपर वो है, मेरी ड्राइव है. And you can see this is over here. So yeah, I can say, for example, new. सही है। तो मैंने यहाँ पे ये मैंने फाइल की है, ये Azure की स्टोरेज है एंड इट इज ओवर हियर। तो ये मैंने मैप कर लिया उसको अपने कंप्यूटर के ऊपर एंड आई कैन गो ओवर हियर नाउ एंड आई कैन रिफ्रेश राइट एंड द फाइल इज देयर नाउ। सही है। So this is the beauty of files, right? And anybody can connect this. मैं आपको भी ये connection दूँ, script दूँ, all of you can connect this one and play with this one, right? And you can do it. मैं आपको देता हूँ इसकी connection file ये बना के देता है आपको basically. Everyone can do this one. So yeah. ये मैं chat में डाल देता हूँ. You can run in PowerShell and you will be able to connect. Okay? You can play with this one. Let me see. राइट इसको जो आपने करना है बेसिकली अगर PowerShell है ना आपके पास यू कैन डू दिस फ्रॉम PowerShell। आप नोटपैड करो नोटपैड azfs.ps1 ps1 इज अ फाइल नेम साइट फॉर PowerShell और इसमें करके ना आप इसको पेस्ट कर दो इसके अंदर दैट्स ऑल राइट जस्ट पेस्ट दिस वन आई कैन सेव इट once I have this and I can say azfs सॉरी राइट वो कह रहा है कि आपने Z ऑलरेडी यूज किया हुआ है तो इसलिए बट आई मीन यू कैन सी वो फाइल आप पेस्ट करो उसके अंदर रन दैट फाइल फ्रॉम PowerShell एंड इट विल कनेक्ट गिव यू दिस ड्राइव थिंग ऑटोमेटिकली। सही है। सो यू कैन प्ले विद दिस वन यू हैव एक्सेस यू कैन डू व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू। सो दिस इज द पावर ऑफ Azure फाइल्स। सही है। And this is an enterprise file sharing solution. So yeah, that you can do. अब इसके अंदर जो है फाइल शेयर्स एंड देयर कंटेनर्स ये कंटेनर स्टोरेज दिखाया था इसने हमें कि आई कैन क्रिएट अ कंटेनर आई कैन से कंटेनर and I can make it public also. I can make it public access also. Blob and container for ease of I can do these kind of thing also right here. Now again I can upload. But good thing you can see there is no kind of connection to this one. I can upload files, I can do whatever, but there is no connectivity, right? Then what do? We do programmatic access to this one. So yeah, इसे फाइलें लेने के लिए डालने के लिए मॉडिफाई करने के लिए whereas files give us access to be able to map these things. That means उसके अंदर कोई और प्रोटोकॉल भी है Azure files के अंदर. Over the same storage there is a software layer that provides with this connectivity and that is called SMB. Azure file shares जो हैं they give us something, a protocol called SMB that is used to able to map network drives and connect to network drives. जो भी हमने किया है, that is we map the network drive from internet to our local machine and by behind the scenes is use SMB protocol. There are two protocols, NFS and SMB. यार अगर आपको ब्लॉक कह रहे हैं ना और TNC के ऊपर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो आपका टेस्ट नेटवर्क कनेक्शन है टेस्ट नेटवर्क कनेक्शन ऑन पोर्ट 445 इज ओ सॉरी मैसेज इज ब्लॉक होल्ड ऑन ये मैं आपको यार ये हमारी वो है ठहरो ये वो उसने ब्लॉक किया हुआ है आई विल सेंड यू एन ईमेल तो ये मैं आपको ईमेल में भेज देता हूँ ये उसमें अपलोड कर दूंगा मैं आफ्टर द सेशन। सही है। Actually, I can do this one. ये मैं क्लास के बाद ना मैं वहाँ पे अपलोड कर दूँ क्लासरूम में तो ये then you can do it. ये हमारी बेसिकली वो टीम्स के अंदर पॉलिसी है which is to control the access. सही है। Control the access for these passwords and files and code and all those things. सही है। This is what happens.
Sir, can you repeat protocol names जो भी आपने mention किए थे NFS and
SMB तो यहाँ पे नजर आ रहा है ना आपको SMB.
yes.
So you can see SMB already. Other one is NFS. NFS usually is called network file system. Unix के अंदर, Linux के अंदर it gets used. तो behind the scenes होता है, but Linux usually use NFS और Unix वगैरह. और जो Windows है, Windows has standardized on SMB. सही है? Again, it's behind the scenes, but Windows is using Microsoft Windows. Microsoft uses SMB for these kind of things. What we just did, it was done through SMB behind the scenes. सही है? ये जो हमने किया ना न्यू PS ड्राइव और ये सारा कुछ हमने किया है, तो उसने basically the connection to that drive was done through SMB protocol. सही है? सारा जो file transfer back and forth read write होता है, it's done through SMB protocol. सही है? Because it's a network folder, it's a network drive somewhere. How do you connect it? How do you read write? Like a local folder, SMB provides you all of that options. सही है? Being a PaaS service, automatically आपको ये नाम मिलता है इसका. सही है? If I go over here, go to resource, you will see कि मेरी जो है containers जो हैं, for example, इसका जो, let me see if I can get the URLs. सही है? I think it is. मैं देखना चाह रहा हूँ अगर ये मुझे, ये सारी कनेक्टिविटी है. आई एम सेइंग इनेबल फ्रॉम ऑल नेटवर्क्स, इनेबल फ्रॉम स्पेसिफिक वन. अगर मैं इसको कहूँ यहाँ पे, and what I can do is I can add my IP to the firewall. Then nobody else can connect unless उनका IP यहाँ पे होगा. So there's a firewall, it enables in front of it, and then you can enable specific connection and specific IP addresses to connect to it. So yeah. So there's a lot of security and networking over here also. So yeah. Also ये देखो यहाँ पे CNAME आ गया. वो कह रहा है आपका जो नाम है ना यहाँ पे, it is this. सही है? ये देखो यहाँ पे ना ब्लॉक कोर विंडोज नेट, ये हमारा यूनिक नाम था. वो कह रहे हैं कि आप इसके ऊपर आप इसको चेंज तो कर नहीं सकते क्योंकि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का है. तो आप क्या करते हो कि आपका CNAME बनाते हो टू योर डोमेन www.contoso.com and CNAME बनाओगे to this guy. So anybody, you can just give this one and everybody will come to this guy automatically. So yeah. So this is the way you can DNS will come. Basically, the CNAMEs will come. So yeah. या कोई DNS provider है, you can do that one. अगर आप Azure की public DNS services ले रहे हो, you can create the CNAME over there as well. So yeah. So this is the beauty of this one. This was a very much requested feature from customers, and अब इन्होंने enable कर दिया आपको ये. You can create your custom domain for the storage. So yeah. तो जो Azure files है उसका file.co.windows.net है यहाँ पे. Let's see. यहाँ पे अगर मैंने किया था यहाँ पे आपको यहाँ पे नजर आया होगा, ये देखो file.co.windows.net. So even though it's one storage account, हर जो service दे रहा है ना वो it has a different domain name. So yeah, it is mapping to a different domain name because from there it's providing you the required services. Queues give you the capability to put the data, to push the data, and to pull the data. You can have processes that are pushing data to the queue and will remain there, and you can have services that are pulling the data from the queue. So yeah, so it gives you very nice service on that one. Same storage account. These are different services which are enabled on the storage account. So yeah, because underneath everything is being saved. These are services that you can use on top of these storage accounts. So yeah. And last but not least, database like tables. So yeah, that you can do. For example, I can have a customer. So yeah. इसके अंदर you can start writing, read and writing. I think इसका schema जो है वो fix नहीं है basically, right? You can create the schema on the fly of these things. But again, very cheap way to create tables, rows and columns, and work with these things for basic stuff if you need that, right? उसी storage account के ऊपर you have these kind of services available, right? So you can see table service का अगर आपने access करना है programmatically, it is table.co.windows.net. Same thing. strg001.table.co.windows.net. So yeah. यहाँ पे हमने देखा था इसके स्टोरेज tiers. Let me see if it's accessible over here. ये यहाँ पे tier है, सही है. Hot is storing data accessed frequently. Optimize for storing data that's infrequently accessed and stored for at least 30 days. So yeah, you can change the tier over here. So yeah, and it's cheaper, but you're not allowed to access it as frequently. There's a penalty on that one if you do this one. And same thing for archiving. So yeah, so यहाँ पे latency भी है इसकी, and idea is that you rarely access it. It's purely for archiving. Once in a while, साल में एक दफा you want to access this one, right? Then you have this one archive tier. It's really cheap. Archive tier. Let me see, how do you change it to archive tier? I'll check. So yeah. So these tiers are different. So yeah. So आपका data which is very infrequent. So yeah. Then you have 30 days. Within 30 days, very infrequent usage. You want to move to cool, so यहाँ पे tier, सही है. और यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, for example, if I do this one, for example, blob storage, and you can see cool. आप ये देखो, it becomes same thing as half price, सही है. 10 terabyte, hot is 207, cool is 122, and archive is $18, सही है. वो कह रहा है it's not, you are not charged, you should not be accessing it, सही है. फिर इसके operations and base innovation become very costly अगर आप इसको इस्तेमाल करना शुरू कर दोगे. तो ये high priority retrieval, you can see they charge you for the retrieval charges, for example, for 1 terabyte, right? This is 1 terabyte basically. You can see how expensive it is. So make sure when you're saving money over here and you're putting in archive tier, you don't access it, right? Because the retrieval is very expensive. Yeah. तो आपने जब भी करना, you will save huge amount of money. यहाँ पे आप अगर साल में पे कर रहे हो, for example, hot के ऊपर, let's say even cool के ऊपर, सही है, 122. तो इसके जो है, you can see retrieval charges are much less. सही है. Once in a while, महीने में एक दफा access करना है, you can do that. It's manageable, right? But archive, that means आप जो use कर रहे हो, that is maybe once a year, maybe, सही है, that kind of thing. So say retrieval charges are much higher, data retrieval. So that was high-level storage services. So yeah, or a storage service here that gives us, for example, when I'm creating storage, ये मैंने storage account बनाया था, I can do the disks also like this, right? If I go into storage account, I can say, for example, if I want to create disk, I can use this one, what we call storage account. So yeah, block blobs, yeah, I think page blobs, random read-write operation. This is what we do for disks and those kind of things, basically. Anyway, no need to go any further in this one. A pura area is to go into the storage, but main cheez is to understand what are the storage services, what are the different things that allow, and various different things. So yeah, इसके अंदर, as you can see, इसके अंदर इसकी अपनी redundancy है. वो बता रहा है आपको क्या किया हुआ है. अगर मैं इसको GRS करूं, वो मुझे बता देगा. For example, let me see if it allows me to do that. It used to tell you, for example, let me see. जब आप करते हो ना change, sometimes it tells you, अच्छा वो कह रहे, take you 72 hours to do this one. So yeah. So anyway, So this is storage. You can change different things, do various different things over here. इसमें data protection भी है. If you accidentally delete storage, it can keep the delete block for 7 days. If you delete the containers, you can keep them for a certain number of days. You can add. सही है? आप इसमें different, तो इसमें बहुत ज्यादा प्रोटेक्शन चीजें हैं to ensure आप accidentally delete ना करो. सही है? आप इसके बैकअप्स इनेबल कर सकते हो. सही है? बैकअप पॉलिसी सेट कर सकते हो कि दिन में एक दफा करनी है, so on so forth. राइट? सही है? आपने कोई चीज गलती से ओवरराइड कर दिया, आप कहते हो मुझे पिछला I need to go back 3 days or certain days, right? You can set up restore points, 5-6 days of restore points, right? Of course they will cost you, but it gives you a lot of protection कि मैंने गलती से कोई चीज ओवरराइड कर दिया, I need to go back. सही है? So it allows you to go back certain number of days, so you can recover from your mistakes, basically, whatever you have done. So you can do this one as well. So the next point is Azure migrate. Now we have seen some high-level services. How do you move to Azure? Okay. So Azure migrate is a service over here that gives you a lot of different services to migrate to Azure. It does assessment. कि आपकी सर्विस है, किस तरह मूव होगी, क्या चीज पे मूव होगी, आपकी एप्लीकेशंस हैं, how they can be moved, क्या assessment है उनकी, and the databases as well. So it does lots of work for you to give you your landscape on premises and to show you what it might look like on Azure. So ये किस चीज की assessment करते हैं? ये आपको बता देगा on premise server running on VMware, Hyper-V या physical servers. सही है? ये आपके दोनों बड़े main virtualization platforms हैं. And besides that, अगर physical server run कर रहे हैं, तो उनको भी it can do assessment. And the way it does is, आप अपने environment के अंदर एक server के ऊपर whether it's physical or virtual, आप उसके अंदर ये Azure Migrate का software डालते हो, इसको अपने Azure के साथ connect करते हो subscription के साथ, and then you say please start accessing. So since it is sitting in your environment, this VM, it can go and search for everything and gives you the complete report. So yeah.
Sir, can we study this Azure Migrate in next class? It's too much to digest now.
Is it? और छोटी होगी class है.
Yes.
Okay. We can go next time, no problem. It's a,
yes, sir. It would be great.
It's a big topic as well, so we can maybe start this in the next class. So yeah, so that's fine, yes. Inshallah. So next we'll do this one, or we have class not tomorrow but day after tomorrow, inshallah. So yeah. So we have a lot of classes to make up. Ye 2 hafte we'll do, I think, for the next 2-3 weeks in Ramadan also. Ramzan, inshallah, we'll try to have 1 extra class if everyone agrees, so we can finish the makeup classes. So yeah, takin Ramzan ke baad we can continue on a normal schedule. We'll decide. Anyway, so we'll have class day after tomorrow, inshallah. So yeah.
Inshallah.
Okay, my file upload kar dunga. Play with it. You can play with these this Azure storage. Okay, I will paste this thing shortly, inshallah.
Sir, I have a question regarding this. जो हमसे storage है, can you track that how many people log into that?
यार log in के लिए उसके लिए फिर ये होते हैं कि हम storage के अंदर जब हम जाते हैं ना, what we do is we do क्या कहते हैं इसके ऊपर क्योंकि अभी मैं जो आप connect कर रहे हो ना इसको, if you look at it, मैं दिखाता हूँ आपको how you're connecting. आप इसे जब connect करोगे ना इससे, अगर आप इसे script देखो ना, connect key, you will see that you are connecting with a key, with a big key. So yeah, this key is common. अगर आपने दूसरी तरीके से देखना है, then what you do is, and you can see also SMB clients and all that. So it's telling SMB protocol as well. So yeah, अगर आपने इसको करना है, then what you do is you go into this one and see Active Directory configuration, and then you enable permission. Uske andar you can give it permission to specific people, and they can use it using your using their Active Directory accounts. So you can do those kind of things, right? To do this, you can also do access control and do add the accounts, and then you can do, or then you do activity logging. Who did what? Then I can see everything. Now, for example, if I want to see what happened on this account, let's see. You can see I did this one. ये मेरा account है, बता रहा है what I did. मैंने blob container बनाया है, मैंने file share बनाया है, मैंने different चीजें की हैं. सही है इसके ऊपर. It's showing me all my activity. सही है. So I can audit whatever is going on, whoever is doing what. सही है. लेकिन आपके पास जो भी permission है, that is on the file share, not on this object, but you can have this one and you can drop files in this one, add, remove files over here. So yeah, and I cannot see that one basically. So yeah, उसके अंदर मुझे नजर आया कौन फाइल कॉपी कर रहा है, because everybody is sharing using the unique same key. So yeah, लेकिन उसके अंदर I don't think, unless I do Active Directory, I will not be able to see, because then it will know who is logging in specifically. So yeah. So उससे हम we can do audit of various different things. अगर मैं if I do this one, so yeah, you can see various different things. So yeah, and I can do permission. मैं आपको कहूँ जी इस group की इतने लड़कों की या इतने students की on this container इसके ऊपर permission है, इनकी in file share के ऊपर है, and I can do all that control basically. So yeah, share level permissions. I can do all these things as well when I go into Active Directory permissions. और इसके अंदर एक्सेस कीज है, उसके अंदर जो एक्सेस की थी इट वाज ओवर हियर, ये एक्सेस की उसके अंदर थी, वो जो आपकी स्क्रिप्ट है ना, and you can look at this one connection string for different things. I can do this one. You can do storage browser and you can see the tables, you can see the queues and all those things, right? So you can do, it's a full browser. इसको देखने के लिए storage browser को we have a tool called Storage Explorer. It's a very nice tool, Storage Explorer. So yeah, it's a free tool to manage files in storage accounts. So yeah, you can download this one. मैं आपको storage account की key दे दूँगा. You can connect to it. So yeah, let me see Storage Explorer. We download. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so यहाँ पे you can let me just make sure you download or basically. Yeah. So this allows you to connect to your Azure storage and in a very nice user interface. It has a built-in tool to do massive uploads basically. हम आगे पढ़ेंगे इसके from Azure Migrate के अंदर how do you transfer the files. इसके अंदर capability है basically. So yeah, to do this one. You can take a look. मैं इसका आपको दे दूंगा क्या कहते हैं. You can play with Azure storage. So yeah, you can connect. इसका मैं दिखा देता हूँ एक सेकंड में आप लोगों को. ये हम बहुत ज्यादा टूल इस्तेमाल करते हैं इन प्रोडक्शन एनवायरनमेंट्स बेसिकली. और इसके लिए बेसिकली आई एम शोइंग यू कैन डू दिस फॉर योरसेल्फ. मैं आपको इसका दे दूंगा बेसिकली. सही है, इसकी की इसके अंदर टू मेक द कनेक्शन. सही है, इसके अंदर स्टोरेज अकाउंट के ऊपर. सही है, यू स्टोरेज अकाउंट और ये देखो आप इसको कह रहे हो कि अकाउंट नेम एंड की. यू कैन पिक दिस ऑप्शन एंड इफ यू मैं आपको दे दूंगा. यू कैन कनेक्ट टू दिस वन. सही है, अकाउंट नेम आई कैन पुट दिस वन फॉर एग्जांपल. डिस्प्ले नेम, अकाउंट नेम, सेम थिंग, अकाउंट की, सही है, ये यहाँ पे की है इसकी, सही है, शो एंड आई कैन कॉपी, I'll give this to you guys, okay? You can connect this one directly. Azure Core Windows Net. So yeah. You can connect to it, you can do whatever you want to, okay? You can upload, you can play with queues, you can play with tables and all that. So yeah, कि हमने जो बनाया था, ये इसमें मेरी फाइल पड़ी है. You can upload, download, do various things. So play with this one. मैं आपको इसकी की दे दूंगा, इसका अकाउंट नेम दे दूंगा. You can connect with using Azure Storage Explorer. So ये इसको डाउनलोड कर लेना. So you can get some idea about. इसके अंदर लोकल भी है storage account, सही है. आप इसके अंदर locally बना सकते हो instead of connecting to the actual one, सही है. ये अपने लोकल भी एमुलेटर है इसका. यू कैन प्ले विद दिस वन टू प्ले विद क्या कहते हैं, लेट्स सी, कैन यू डू दिस वन? Anyway. अच्छा, वो कह रहा है क्वेश्चंस, आई नीड टू इंस्टॉल, यू नीड टू इंस्टॉल एन एमुलेटर, सही है, फॉर लोकल स्टोरेज डेवलपमेंट. ये कोई टूल है इनका बेसिकली दैट वी कैन इंस्टॉल. एनीवे, ये मैं आपको दे दूंगा कि यू कैन प्ले विद इट, यू कैन प्ले विद एमुलेटर एज वेल. ट्राई टू इंस्टॉल इट जस्ट टू गेट एन आइडिया, सही है. एनीवे, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? You will stop now. So inshallah we'll see क्या कहते हैं, we'll do it on day after tomorrow. ये मैं recording और attendance update कर दूंगा inshallah. All right, thank you very much. Let me know कोई question हो, कुछ हो मुझे बता देना. अच्छा, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, अल्लाह हाफिज.